Hey explorers, welcome back. It's Explore with Meg, your travel guide. Have you ever heard of a country called Fredonia? Or what about Sealand? No? Well, that's probably because they don't exist, but they almost did. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of countries that came this close to making it on the map. We're talking about nations with flags, constitutions, and everything. So what happened? Why are these places not on our maps today? Buckle up! This is going to be a wild ride. Our first almost country takes us back to the early 1900s, a time of great change and even greater ambition. The world was buzzing with new ideas, technological advancements, and a sense of possibility that seemed boundless. It was during this era that a group of very determined individuals decided they were done with the way things were. They were visionaries, dreamers, and rebels all rolled into one. They wanted to build something new, something different, something free. They envisioned a society where everyone could live in harmony, free from the constraints of the old world. They called it the Kingdom of Fredonia, a name that echoed their aspirations and their desire for a fresh start. I know what you're thinking, okay, cool name, but where was this Fredonia supposed to be? Surely they had a plan, right? And that, my friends, is where things get a little messy. The founders had grand ideas, but were a bit fuzzy on the details. You see, these Fredonian founders, they were big on ideals, big on dreams, but not so big on the whole logistics thing. They had the passion, but lacked the practical steps to make it a reality. They had a flag, a beautiful flowing banner symbolizing their hopes and aspirations. It was a symbol of their unity and their shared vision. They even had a constitution, a whole document outlining how their utopian society would function. It was detailed, idealistic, and full of hope. But when it came to the actual physical location of their country, crickets. They couldn't agree. The debates were endless, and consensus was elusive. Some wanted a mountainous paradise, others a seaside haven. Each had their own vision of the perfect homeland. Can you imagine? Founding a country and saying, we'll figure out where later? It was a logistical nightmare. It's like starting a baking show and forgetting to bring the flour. Essential, yet completely overlooked. Needless to say, without a place to call home, the Kingdom of Fredonia remained a kingdom of dreams, existing only on paper and in the passionate hearts of its would-be citizens. Their dream was beautiful, but it needed a foundation. But hey, let's give them some credit. They tried. Their efforts, though ultimately unsuccessful, were a testament to the power of dreams and the human spirit. And their story serves as a valuable lesson to us all. If you're going to start a country, maybe, just maybe, make sure you know where you're going to put it first. Dreams are important, but so is a solid plan. Next, let's talk about the Republic of Sonora, a country that almost existed in the 1850s. Now, this one is a bit of a wild ride, so buckle up. Picture this, the Wild West, a time of expansion, gold rushes, and, well, a whole lot of questionable decisions. Enter William Walker, an ambitious American with a penchant for, let's say, taking initiative. Walker, along with a band of like-minded adventurers, let's be real, they were probably hoping to strike it rich, decided that a chunk of northern Mexico looked awfully appealing. So what did they do? They did what any rational person in the 1850s would do. They declared it their own country, the Republic of Sonora. I mean, why not, right? They even went as far as to write a constitution because, details. But here's the thing about starting your own country. It's generally considered good form to, consult with the people who already live there. And maybe, just maybe, give a heads up to the countries who might have a vested interest in the region, like Mexico and the United States. Yeah, about that. Turns out, neither Mexico nor the US was particularly thrilled about this whole Republic of Sonora situation. It was like showing up to a potluck with a store-bought bag of chips and expecting a round of applause. Needless to say, Walker's little experiment in nation-building was shut down real fast. The Republic of Sonora, much like a sandcastle in a hurricane, was swiftly washed away by the forces of reality. And the Mexican and American armies. The morale of the story? Maybe don't try to make a country without asking first. Dear Mexico, we're making a country. Love, William. P.S. Don't be mad. Walker's story is a fascinating glimpse into the audacity and ambition of the era. It wasn't just about land, it was about dreams, however misguided they might have been. The mid-19th century was a time when the idea of manifest destiny was at its peak, and many Americans believed it was their right to expand across the continent. But the people of Sonora had their own lives, their own culture, and their own plans for the future. They weren't just passive players in someone else's grand scheme. The Republic of Sonora serves as a reminder that diplomacy and respect for existing nations and peoples are crucial, even in times of great ambition and change. So next time you think about making bold moves, remember the Republic of Sonora and maybe, just maybe, send out those RSVPs first. Sealand, your country, only smaller. All right, explorers, this one's my favorite. Sealand, a place that defies the conventional definition of a country. It's not just a legend, it's a real-life micronation, a tiny speck in the vast ocean, yet brimming with stories. And trust me, this story is wilder than a box of frogs in a fireworks factory. Imagine the chaos, the excitement, the sheer audacity. So picture this, 1967, the swinging 60s are in full swing, with all its vibrant culture and revolutionary ideas. But one man, a former British Army major named Roy Bates, isn't interested in peace and love. He's got a vision that's out of this world. He's got bigger fish to fry, or rather, smaller countries to conquer. His ambition knows no bounds. Bates, a man of action and ambition, had his eye on something rather unusual. An abandoned World War II sea fort off the coast of England. A relic of the past. A hulking structure of steel and concrete just begging for a purpose. It stood there, weathered and worn, waiting for a new chapter. And Roy? Well, Roy had a purpose all right. He saw potential where others saw decay. He was going to turn this rusty relic into a nation. A bold move, but Roy was never one to shy away from a challenge. Yes, you heard me right, a nation. Not just a hobby or a side project, but a full-fledged country. He called it Sealand, planted his flag, a masterpiece of red, black, and white, and declared himself Prince Roy. A new era had begun, and declared himself Prince Roy. I mean, if you're going to dream, dream big, right? His vision was as grand as any empire builder. Roy's dream was larger than life, even if his kingdom was not. But Roy wasn't just playing pretend. He drafted a constitution, introduced a national anthem, and laid down the foundations of a nation. Even started printing Sealandic passports. These were not just symbols, but statements of sovereignty. This wasn't some whimsical flight of fancy. Roy Bates was serious about his micronation. His determination was unshakable. And Sealand, despite its size, we're talking about a platform roughly the size of a soccer field, has had more drama than an entire season of Game of Thrones. Intrigues, conflicts, and high stakes were all part of its story. There have been attempted coups, legal battles, and fierce disputes over its legitimacy. Even a fire that nearly took the whole thing down. The challenges were immense, but so was the resolve. Through it all, Sealand has endured, standing tall against the odds. A testament to one man's unwavering belief in his own country, no matter how small. Roy's spirit was indomitable. I mean, can you imagine ruling a country the size of a soccer field? It's a unique kind of leadership. Honestly, I'd be all about it. Tiny country, big vibes. The spirit of Sealand is a reminder that size doesn't define greatness. All right, explorers, now it's your turn. If you could create your own country, what would you call it? What would your flag look like? Would you rule with an iron fist or a gentle touch? Would your national animal be a unicorn or a capybara wearing a tiny hat? Okay, maybe that last one is just me. Drop your ideas in the comments. I'll feature the best ones in my next video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another adventure. See you next time. And remember, even if your country doesn't exist, your imagination can take you anywhere. Bye.